Hello and welcome to the podcast where we explore everything to do with audio storytelling with the people who make extraordinary audio tales, whether it's through games or through narrative. And I'm delighted to be joined by Annina. Annina, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Well, it's Annina. Sorry to
Annina, sorry, terrible.
correct you.
I'm
straight
terrible
away.
at pronunciation. Yeah.
That's okay. It's a rare name, so
Hmm.
you get some grace. So yeah.
I get one go.
Yeah, off you go now.
Yeah.
Try it again.
So what is it you do in it? Tell us a little bit about your background.
Yes. So I'm a professional actor and
Yep.
screenwriter, and I'm also a regular cast member on Bardic Quest, which is a D&D actual play podcast with other actors in it as well, and I'm a producer on that as well. And I do voiceover work, and also I've guested on other actual play podcasts as well. So
Actually, out of interest, have you ever done any games work?
I've auditioned for several games.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of, I do work for a board games company as a demonstrator.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Which one? I'm being nosy. I'm interested.
I was working with Coiled Spring Games at
Oh, yeah.
UKGE in Birmingham.
Yep.
Literally, like the other
I
weekend.
wish I knew. I'd have tried to come and find you. I went for
yeah.
despite spending a decade of going to all these like UK cons. I got embroiled in the games industry and ended up not going to UK Game Expo until this year. Weirdly. Anyway, let's sort of paint a bit of a picture. The reason I asked about games is because obviously for those who listen to this, you'll know that I work in the games industry. But there's a massive crossover between a lot of the voice actors who work in audio drama and particularly in terms of games. In fact, I'm very lucky that Corinne, one of my regulars, happens to be a really old mate of mine, happens to have done some amazing stuff, both on audio narrative and on and obviously games like mine. So let's think. What I try to do with these conversations is try and step back a little bit and kind of work out what got you into. So presumably your kind of raison d'être is the acting side of thing. I'm guessing. Is that right?
Yes, yeah.
it
is. And games-wise, I work with some game designers just on TTRPGs side because I was an actor first. I was a child actor.
Yep.
And
okay.
Still an actor, just adult. But I started very young, and then I started writing.
Yeah.
In the last 8 years or so,
Mm.
I've always been a massive nerd as well. So obviously, navigated into game space.
Yeah.
As well, but yes, acting is and always will be my first love, my raison d'être. And yeah, a lot of them cross over really because I do motion capture work as well because I've done a lot of physical performance as well. I'm a sword fighter, so
Fantastic.
yeah, just to really hone in on that, Nordic stereotype of
It's all good. Look, I'm not going to complain. One of my friends, when she was growing up, she was playing D&D with us, and she ended up becoming a stunt person.
Yeah.
So she spent a lot of
hats
time.
off. That's hard.
That's hard. But she did so much training in terms of sword play and various others. And when I was growing up, we did karate at home, so I also did a lot of fencing. And then tried reenactment, but I was never going to do anything performance-wise. I'm a guy who's good on stage to talk. I am not somebody who's going to act. Well, not more than amateur. So you're in this space. Your creative outlet is your performance, and your skills are related to that. And obviously, this is a challenging profession to have, as we know. And you've gone down the route of playing. I mean, I presume you're also acting in other spaces, but you've ended up playing games in your acting context. What triggered that part?
How I got into sort of a lot of my nerdy interests is I have two quite much older brothers, and as the youngest, you as the younger sibling, you always want to know what your siblings are doing. So that's how I got into video games and certain franchises. So I've been playing games since I was very young. I played D&D before it was cool, when it literally got you ostracized by, anyone in high school. Um, I think first one I played was third edition D&D, and
Third edition sounds
then
about right. Yeah,
yeah.
three,
So
3.5, that kind of thing.
so people can, I mean, don't do the maths too fast, but people can kind of guess what age I might be
Hey,
based on that.
I first played, and I say this endlessly. I first played D&D when I was 10 in 1979. Yeah,
Mm.
that's sad. Anyway, but the point is that it's interesting that you've had that heritage of
Mm.
playing, which is great, and I think that there's been a lot of misunderstandings in terms of the breakdown of people who play tabletop role playing games. Historically, I think that there has been an assumption that it's basically, cis white guys like me sitting in a corner. I've always found it's a broader audience than that, and often more diverse. Often it's an outlet for the outsider as well.
Oh,
I found.
definitely,
Mm.
definitely. I mean, I I think it's taken even the companies an embarrassingly long time to realize that
Yeah.
women play their games, and I include video games, board
Mm.
games,
Totally.
any games. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, but you wouldn't sell this much if we didn't buy them too. And it's only recently when there's like, oh, Will, I remember being a teenager and you could not find like a fan t-shirt that
Yeah.
wasn't like a tent in triple XL if you wanted to wear that. And I remember
Yep.
that so vividly and being like, come on, just it can't be that hard, just make it a, now they're everywhere finally, but it took what,
Finally.
yeah, an embarrassingly long time for companies to go, oh shit, I'm sorry if I swore. I should have asked if it was
No. I always go
um
explicit on my podcast because I
good,
think we
good.
should use natural language. It's much easier.
uh
Um, but yeah,
so yeah.
I mean, I think you're right. The reason I think this is an interesting thing
Mm.
is because I'm trying to talk to people who do audio drama and people who do
Mm-hmm.
actual plays. I think there's a really important thing that we get such a diverse group of people who maybe coming through a classical acting route, coming
Mm-hmm.
through a classical literature kind of approach, maybe even an audio level. But then there's the geeks amongst us, and
Yeah,
you are part of our
I am.
group
I
of
am.
geeks, clearly, who have been expressing themselves and being able to get that kind of because that I do like that little hit of acting and taking on a role.
Yeah.
I just
You
know I'm not great at it.
exactly. You can just do something because you enjoy it. Like
Yeah,
obviously, our podcasts are we're all trained actors who are also
yeah,
nerds, and it's fantastic fun
yeah,
to. I say this a lot because obviously I play with. I have a home game with like my
yeah,
husband, some nerdy
yeah.
friends. Very
Lovely.
different vibe there versus when actors play together because we all have training. We're all aware of the invisible audience. And that's
Yes.
so thrilling because what I love about playing with actors is we're all trained to be like, oh, I'm just going to say this thing, this hint, this idea. And I always describe it like you've got a ball and you're just putting it on the floor. And then you're
Exactly.
walking away and someone else is going to pick it up.
Yeah.
And that's what actors do very well,
Yeah.
especially in actual plays. And that what I love about doing actual plays is the fact that obviously I love acting. But say you're doing a theatre show, you do the
Yeah.
same show, same script for months on end, and actually the challenge for the actor past month one,
Yeah.
it now becomes work to not become mechanical.
Yeah.
See, you know what's going to happen.
Hmm.
You know what's going to happen in the next scene, but you have to be this character who doesn't. And
Exactly.
that's the craft of acting. Actually, is
Yeah.
going. How do I make this look like it's happening for the first time?
Yeah.
Um, actual plays have this fantastic thing of you create a character especially a long form podcast, you create this
Yeah.
character, you go really deep into backstory and like,
Mm.
you know, go proper Stanislavski.
Narrative
Of this is,
juices that make it
yeah, you know,
exciting.
like this is what drives them, and this is what they
Yeah.
are, and this is their trauma, and you can make all
Yeah.
those juicy choices, and you don't know what's going to happen. That's thrilling. That's so thrilling.
It's thrilling.
And you've also got dice. That might ruin all your plans. So I find it, as someone who's been performing 4 years, so thrilling, because there's a new level of unpredictability, and that's the dice.
Don't forget to check out our actual play, The Anything Could Happen show, on YouTube and all good podcast sites, where I put my guest players through no-win scenarios with limited information and always against the clock. And of course, where anything could happen.
Yeah, I found this worm on a regular routine systems check shortly after you arrived on the station.
Someone is framing me. I swear.
Regardless, I would like to suggest that whilst we are dealing with this, I don't want you near any systems. Is there anywhere where we can put you?
I dismiss my kind of acting, but I have done quite a lot of Amdram type stuff. And in particular, you know, a lot of exercises about improv and devising pieces.
Yeah.
I love working on devised pieces because I feel very similar to me to as a referee building a game, but it is more collaborative in that kind of yes and no but kind of balancing act that you play. And I think, like you said, the idea of it being a ball that you're passing is such an important part of that process. And I have this theory, and I'm hoping in this podquest to kind of find out if I'm right, that there's a spectrum of storytelling techniques that everyone at every part of that spectrum can learn from other parts, like devising stories through the acting kind of creative process, which I think is an incredibly powerful way to create more linear kind of narrative. But equally, the way that we use bits of that with dice to decide the outcome, or like I'm doing, where I don't have the dice, I'm setting up a dilemma, and the randomness is about the players confronting the misinformation, the lack of information they've got, and then I can resolve in the background. It's quite a unique for me. I found that really a really kind of mind-blowing mindset of changing the way that I, as the referee, don't have to be the only one speaking most of the time.
Now that is that's interesting, and I'm gonna.
I'm looking forward to having you
I
join
am,
us
I
on
am,
that
I'm
one.
gonna. I will join, and I'm. Yeah, I like to think I'd be really good at the problem solving, but we shall see.
But this is
We
the
shall see
joy,
if I
is
will
that
be.
everyone is and everyone isn't simultaneously, and it's the mess that makes it so much fun. But let's not talk about mine. I'm talking about your stuff now. So, what triggered you to take? Because I think are you streaming or are you podcasting? I can't remember.
So it's a podcast, yeah.
It's
I've done
podcasting.
streamed ones as well. Actually, one of the first ones I did was streamed with Black Feather Guild over on Twitch.
What triggered that? What made you? What stepped you into that place, and what was the timing of that?
So, I got into that during the old pandemic. So
During the blimp, like everybody else.
During the you know the one that shall not be named that I just named. During that, I mean, I lost all my jobs instantly one day because any day job I had as well was in the events industry.
Yeah, of course
so
it was.
I lost it every way, and it was a very, for me, incredibly stressful time because it was like, how am I going to pay rent? You can't be furloughed when you're self-employed.
Nope.
Or all that jazz. So it was an incredibly stressful, constant stress for about 2 years to scrabble together something. And thankfully, I mean, I played a lot of D&D as a teenager, and then I sort of started training
Yeah.
acting. I got into drama school. I moved
Yep.
to London.
Mhm.
So a lot of that fell to the wayside, mainly because I didn't have friends in my circle who played as well. So
Yeah,
I had
so
nerdy friends, but
happens.
no one played. No one played it. So there was a good 10 years where I didn't play any TTRPG because the fun of it is the group you
Yes.
play with. It's incredibly social. So I did other things, mostly kind of classical acting,
Yeah.
stage, the odd bit of screen,
Yeah.
some voiceover work, and then obviously Critical Role became huge.
Good Girl, Dimension 20, all those.
Yeah, absolutely huge. And I'd been following Felicia Day for years anyway, and I loved her. So that's how I started watching
Felicia Day's
Critical Role.
amazing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she inspired me to make a web series pilot and to start to write. So she is I've
The
met her as
OG.
well, and I
okay.
got to say, like, you inspired me to write, so thank
Nice.
you. So actually, I watched a lot of her content, but it was my nerdy friends got into Critical Role faster than me, and they then said, we want to play D&D, and I was like, yes, finally, it's back, it's here, let's go.
Yeah.
We started playing. I think by that point we'd already played a few years before the blip, as you say, and then obviously during the bad times, I stumbled upon, could have been Twitter or one of the social medias, I can't remember exactly how, but I stumbled upon like a casting call for actual play performers, and I started applying because I thought I would love to do that. Literally marry my nerdy side and my actor side, which for a long time had actually been really separate.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah,
because it was not really that, historically, there hasn't been that recognition of the game as something that can be an external expression, I would argue.
Oh yeah. Like anyone who does it knows it is, but it hasn't been a thing people talk about.
No, and I think the closest, I mean, I've talked about this again before, but the closest thing I noticed is when, I had people watching a game I was running and then someone started crying at a particularly emotional moment. And I know that doesn't sound like much, but there was something about that when you kind of knew there's something here. But I never really thought to put it on YouTube. Not till now. I know, it's one of those things. But so here you are. You're an actor, and you're coming in as in a casting call. You're now performing on someone else's piece.
Yeah,
You said
I started on the Twitch stream. Literally jumped on, and it was live. So I was like, I had the best time.
Great.
Did several longer streams with them for a couple of years. Loved it. And for a long time, it was the only sort of performing around, really. During
but
the blip.
presumably this was unpaid as well. I'm assuming, because this is one of the sort of things. Here you are, professional actor, putting your talent into a show that you're not getting paid for.
Yeah, a lot of those people are now like my very close friends.
Yeah.
Online friends, because a lot of them live in America, but they became really close friends and honestly kept me sane. It did keep me sane during the blip. Now I think things were sort of wrapping up. It was post few years post the blip.
Yeah.
Now I remember it was Twitter. I think through mutual actor friends, I saw Wayne, our DM, our executive producer and game master, post something about Critical Role, and I responded It was just that.
Yeah.
Just responded to a tweet. I really struggled with Twitter, to be honest, because I was like, I do a lot of comedy as well, but I'm a verbose comedy kind of gal. And when there was, you had to be short and snappy, so I really struggled with Twitter. But I was attempting to network, I guess. I don't know. I just sent a comment, forgot about it, and months later, I get a DM from Wayne going, "Hi, I'm starting a actual pay podcast with professional actors. Would you want to join?" So I did. And
So you were
obviously
there.
now our show is our lovely group is we're now just had our 3rd year anniversary. We have a Discord. We've got a fan base. We're very slowly. It's just very slowly
time,
making
doesn't it.
We are building a company very slowly, but
Yeah.
we are, and that's one of the reasons I eventually then started doing producing stuff on it as well, because I'm very passionate about it. So I'm sort of
Nice.
I'm getting involved in it.
And I think that's one of the things, isn't it? Like, this stuff is a lot of work. I mean, it's not just you're now doing podcast format rather than Twitch format. And I'm going to ask you a bit about the difference for you as a performer on that one. But talking about the difference between acting and producing as well.
Yeah.
It's the preparation, it's the casting, it's arranging those sessions, it's what's involved in the day-to-day basis of doing that.
Yeah, it's currently Wayne does all the tech.
Yeah.
Bless him. He does all the tech, but my side is people wrangling, scheduling. Slowly, again, because we're balancing other jobs at the same time.
For sure.
A little bit of social media. We talk about. It's just a lot of meetings. Really, it's a lot of meetings.
How frequently are you recording, and for how long?
We just changed our recording schedule. We used to do once or twice a month for a long day. We do about 10:30 till 2 on a Sunday, about twice a month. And now we're doing weekly. We're doing weekly now.
So you've upped your frequency.
Yes. Yeah. We're upped our frequency to basically try and get a runway. So
the mythical
we're
runway.
Slightly, yes. We do sometimes reach it, and then things happen, as they always do. But thankfully, our fans are lovely and loyal and understanding. I actually had a Bardic Quest fan come to my table at UKG.
Oh, fantastic!
GE, and I was like, and I recognise their name from my comments. Someone who's been with us since day one.
Gotcha.
It's so sweet.
That's nice. But isn't that the thing? Is that what we're building is? I think this is the difference between playing a D&D game with your friends and performing an experience, whether it's D&D or other storytelling elements. You're building a community experience. It's a something which people are becoming connected with. Are associating some sense of themselves imbuing some sense of themselves in the experience you're creating. And it's I find that a very two-way experience as well, because I find that I want to respond to an audience where I can get enough information. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I love our fans. I love our Discord. I love reading the comments, because they will, especially when the comments are when we have, say, a more roleplay heavy session versus a long battle. We have both, because it is D&D at the end of the day. There's fun to be had in both, but a lot of fun to be had in both. Balancing the epic battle with the emotional side of it, and obviously all of us are actors. We love an emotional scene, whether that's whatever emotion it is. I mean, yeah, we've had some
The power of emotion.
some fantastic comments on the episodes that have been actually purely roleplay, because even though we had long recording sessions, we try and keep our episodes about between half an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, so they're shorter. Apart from our anniversary episodes are long, and our finale.
But let's talk about that for a little bit, because so a typical game session might be 3 hours in terms of like the traditional format. I know a lot of people have tried to break, they'll record in that 3 hour session, but they'll try to have like an hour long segments with clear breaks so that they can have an hour long session. And within that, they're trying to have a beginning, middle, and end sort of, kind of story arc style thing. But if you're focusing on a 30-minute, 45-minute kind of like level, how do you create? I mean, are you even caring about creating that sense of narrative arc and connection between sessions? How are you doing that?
Wayne does that. I don't know how he does that, but he's got an amazing sense for that, because like I will be GMing in the future as well. But in that show, I'm an actor. I'm a
well worth doing
player. So I'm just concentrating on that. So that is definitely Wayne's mastery of knowing
That's
where
not
to
a check
cut
you're
things.
spending.
No, it isn't. It's I'm literally like, unfortunately, my answer is I don't know, because I'm not.
But
I'm not the one.
Okay.
Yeah, but it works.
But it
I
shows
think in the beginning, in the first
nature of
year,
the process.
yeah, in the first year, he would record while we were doing it. We would pause. He'd be like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna cut there," and then he'd record the sort of blurb, and we'd have 2-minute break, get a snack, and then we'd come and so we would know where the breaks were. Now we just record, and he does them afterwards, but they both work.
I kind of like
that's about the only
that
difference.
approach.
Yeah.
Because that's the approach I tend to take. So we started out doing recording a whole session, and because we have this format that is specifically the gameplay is 20 minutes and is an actual end, which is locked into the design of the story, and it's the debrief after we want. What I found is that by getting rid of doing the intro as part of the recording and just recording for the whole 2 session, we end up having much funnier moments.
Yeah.
Because people are more warmed up and they're natural. We're more natural on it. Do you find that?
No, because we're all professional actors and we're very used to standing on set, where it's like now we have to wait for our camera to be reset. So we are that, but that's craft. That's work skill. If that makes sense. Your work skill is now you're gonna wait, and you don't really know how long this break is, but then you have to be ready to go straight away.
You have to be on the dime.
Yeah.
I totally get it, and I think that's an interesting one, because it shows the challenges that different teams will have. That those who are professional actors are going to be able to have that polish. That means that lights go up, recording goes on. You are in character. You're in that mode. You're in that moment. And obviously, when you're dealing with people who are maybe more amdrammy or maybe just there to play, that sometimes takes a while for them to get into that mode of thinking, that kind of flow.
Yeah, I mean, if they're not if that's not the thing they have to do at work, of course. Like all of us remember when we first got into performance and how clunky you were then. So totally understand.
And I think that's right. I mean, like you say, there's an art to it, but there's also a practical technique, and it takes time to. I think one of the other things I think it's. So I think one of the things, because I spend a lot of time doing presentation and introduction on stage, I'm kind of used to that part of it, that ability to sort of go when it's needed. But I think it's been interesting is kind of, it's been quite fun watching people starting to sort of get more comfortable. And also the fact that you get these different perspectives who maybe not focus so much on the kind of performance part and more getting into the questions and the theory and or even the silliness. I mean, I kind of love it when my characters decided to murder each other, which is hilarious. And it's often my fault because I've set them up so that that's a legitimate story path. But yeah, that's what you do when you have 20 minutes of lemons. You make things very intense. But I didn't necessarily expect that behaviour in that particular circumstance. So when it happens, it's even funnier.
Yeah.
Particularly because somebody who may be coming from a more professional point of view might not consider that as an option, because if you were being a character, you may not have chosen that path, or you wouldn't experience that path coming up in a more standard narrative arc, if that makes sense.
It does, because what I've heard a lot of people say, especially in like sort of gaming TTRPG scenarios, is sometimes the inexperienced people, because it's all new to them, they don't have these invisible parameters of what should happen. I've had a lot of game masters be like, absolute beginners can have the best ideas because they haven't done this a million times. So the options of what you can do aren't preset in your brain, for instance.
Yeah.
So I think it's that. It is the thing of being like, actually, by not knowing much, you can be more
You're freed,
innovative
aren't
in
you?
a way. Yeah, you're freed because it's like,
You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know, and you don't know the expectations either.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have that frame within that constraint within you which you are used to working, because it's new. And also, if you think about a lot of the kind of, I mean, I'm sure you've done this in your kind of family games, in your home games. Sometimes you do things which are specifically not what you as a person, individual personality will do.
Yes.
You want to push the buttons. You want to push the boundaries.
That's what's easiest to do with other actors.
Yeah.
Because there is a unspoken contract of we're not playing ourselves. Especially when it gets a bit emotional. Because I've stumbled on that with my home game. I didn't even do anything that shocking. I just remember a friend of mine being like,
So you say.
I was really hurt you did that in our home game. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, because I got into my character, who is a bit of a spoiled brat in that game. And did something
not a
really
murder
quite
hobo, I hope.
No, just spoiled. Just a bit spoiled. And I mean, we have murder hoboed, but that was not the scenario. And then
it's a conversation I've also had a lot about I just think it's interesting to frame for some people, especially those people who do audio drama, for them to understand that there are different styles and approaches to play. And I think what you're describing, this ability to sort of decide to invest fully in a character and sometimes not lose track, I'm being a bit unfair by saying that, but to lose the framing of what other people are thinking about.
I think for me, it was, obviously I apologize, everything's fine. And I learned from it, but it was definitely from having played consistently so long with professional actors. Yeah. And we check on each other as well. Like, we had a new cast member join not that long ago who I didn't know. And our characters did not get along in the beginning. They did not. They're literally chalk and cheese. Yeah. So there was an episode where there was a conflict, very heated conflict. And afterwards I was like, I went, because it was very much meeting someone the first couple of times on set. Actually, all I know about you is your name and your character, really, in this moment, which is very normal when you are actor. Like the amount of times you
Okay.
go on site and go, "This is your husband for the day. Off you go," and that's
Now
our
be
job,
intimate.
you know. Yeah,
That's
and
why
it-
we have
and-
intimacy coaches.
yeah, or like, yeah, this is your best friend, this is your
Yeah.
brother, and you had just
Yeah.
have to create.
Yes.
You have to create at least the illusion, a believable illusion of
Yeah.
closeness and intimacy, and not necessarily
Yeah.
physical, but
Oh no, I
emotional.
didn't mean that necessarily. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, valid point. Yeah, the amount of times it's been like, and here you go, off you go.
And now
So-
we've talked a little bit about the role of dice, but
Mhm.
I think in this is the kind of point where some games use dice at different levels. I suspect in a more acting kind of world, you're not going to be being told to roll to seduce when you're in the middle of acting, but some games will do that as part
yeah.
of the kind of, not necessarily seriously. Quite often, it's part of a tongue-in-cheek kind of like, let's just see what happens in terms of the dice rolls.
Oh, that we do that all the time. Like,
Oh, you do, yeah.
we do that in Bardic Quest. The amount of
Yeah.
times I even say it in a recording. I say something that I'm like, that was so persuasive. Like, I nailed that line that I just thought of 2 seconds
Nice.
ago. Then I roll a 3,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Ah!
and that happens a lot. But
Yeah.
again, that is the fun of this game we're playing. Yeah, all the time.
And then that's where the GM, DM, whatever term you're going to use for that, storyteller, it's their kind of job to kind of craft that reaction if it's an NPC, and why that 3 happened. Obviously, you were too convincing. You came across as a shiller. Or whatever.
Or this person has the resolve of what, you know, a Zen master, whatever. But yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I think that is the draw of actual plays is when you actually see someone being charismatic and it fails.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that gives that sense of drama that can't be imbibed in a narrative arc.
Yeah.
When we're trying to imbibe drama in terms of storytelling, we've got to create the kind of, the linear storytelling will be writing the setup, the emotional consequences, the risks, and then having a payoff.
Yeah.
But it's not the same as the randomness of a dice, which has a different feel to it, I think.
I think what I enjoy, and I think what a lot of people enjoy about watching actual plays, is you are both watching very good performers being able to emote, but
yes,
you also see, like, everyone's at this, hopefully, this people love it when they're seeing a theatre show and things go wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
there's a whole play about that.
Yeah, exactly. It's and audiences love it, but it has to be real. It has to be spontaneous. Yeah. Like, I did Pride of Prejudice a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm being Jane. I'm being, Mr. Bingley, trying to be very demure and, Regency about it.
Yeah.
And I've gone down some steps. Lizzie is behind me. She trips and body slams me from behind. All grace and nearly body slams me into the audience. That was their favourite,
of course,
performance, because it's like
you
can't craft that. And I think actual plays,
but it does remind me
that.
They do. It reminds me very much of why I loved the TV show Bottom. I did see a live performance of Rick Mann and Ed Emerson doing that. And there's something magical, but when that they've just lost the plot and they just cannot remember the lines. And
everyone loves seeing professional actors' corpse. And Lizzie, she scream laughed in my face while I was doing, flopping around. And again, we're meant to be like elegant Regency ladies. It makes it even funnier. And then Bingley and Darcy are on stage trying, clenching their jaws, trying not to
Yeah.
not to laugh while we run off stage, and then the next scene happens like nothing happened.
Of course he does. Show
I
must go on.
think, yeah, show must go on.
Yeah.
But people, I mean, we, the cast, still talk about that. That's
Of course you do.
a fantastic.
But that's the moment everyone talks about. Why not check out this brief trailer from our guest?
Of Bardic Quest presents Defiance in Flan. In this episode, our heroes enjoy some much-deserved downtime before a priest from the Flan graveyards presents the party with a disturbing problem. So, without further ado, let's get into Defiance in Flan, the Dead at High Sun.
So we've talked about how you got into the scene, that you started off as a kind of native gamer, and also a native actor. You got enticed into the world of actual plays, and so much so you've ended up doing production work. Yeah, as in the craft of making sure the show goes on, for want of a better phrase. One of the other aspects I like to talk about, at least as we kind of sum up, is the growing of that audience. Is there any kind of insight that you would share in terms of over these last 3 years, as you've built, with your fellow cast members, this Bardic Quest experience? How has it been? What have been the key things that allowed you to grow that audience?
Oh, that's tricky because I've often felt like this in my acting career. It's like if I also knew how marketing worked, things would be a lot easier. And I think a lot of creatives feel this pain.
Yeah.
It's like, why do I, I started acting before self-tapes or YouTube were a thing, and you want to, as an actor, just train, audition, and then do the role. That's what you signed up for. Nowadays, you have to be a writer, an editor, social media marketer, and you have to do all this, and you have to know how cameras work and producing all this to be able to act. Or if you don't, well done. You either incredibly lucky or
You reached Nirvana status.
you made the acting gods happy. I don't know how. Teach me. But I think it's honestly, to me, when we grow an audience, it is steadily growing, and we got a very loyal group, small but very loyal group, very quickly. And I think, because obviously we started this going, hoping it worked. Now we're 3 years in, and I'm like, I really believe in this. I think we have something really, I don't want to use the word special, but something really good, something that I feel like there
has value.
Has value. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I think when you see people comment and respond and get hooked on the story and the characters, that's when we know we've done a good job. Because at the end of the day, you can't, I think a lot of this is internet and numbers and algorithm, and a lot of it is up to
mystical force.
zeros and ones and whatever, the mystical algorithm, who really knows how it works.
Hey, I'm a trained marketeer. I have no idea.
You're meant
It's mystical to me.
You're meant to teach me the secrets.
I say, yeah.
I think I kind of approach it from the, did this connect with someone? Okay, more of that. I think I know I've done a good job when I see a comment.
Completely.
About, well, my character in the first season. We've now wrapped up season 1. But I'm they're not gone. They're just paused for now while we tell a different story.
Because you all need a break.
A break. Those characters need a break, but I mean, she will have a big place in my heart, Saga.
Exactly.
And I'm not finished with that. I'm probably going to write what happened before the game, after. More content is coming at some point, because I'm just in love with those characters, and as you should,
part of who you are.
So I think I saw those comments and I was like, okay, good. What I think is there, because see what I mean? And we wouldn't have stuck at this if it didn't work, if we didn't enjoy it. We are storytellers, loving to tell a story. Anyone who comes and joins us, we're happy. And if we've had to take breaks because of life and technical issues, and people patiently wait and come back,
which is fantastic.
We haven't.
And that's a real challenge.
Mm-hmm.
That's a massive challenge.
So the fact that happens, and views fluctuate, but our fan base hasn't ever become smaller. That's
a huge triumph.
That's the other validation we need, that we are telling a good story, and that actually you are a good storyteller, because we are improvising this story.
Yeah, you are.
And
so for me, to me, I think you nailed sort of the piece of advice I think everyone should take from this, and actually I think resonates very much with what other people have said, is that you sound like you're making a story for an audience, but you're also making it for yourself. And it's the development of that sort of story in a satisfactory way, that kind of enjoyable way, that is the primary driver. And the fact that you have an audience who love it just reinforces it.
Yes. If you have a passion for storytelling, you should find a way to tell stories. I believe that is a sign you should do that, because obviously as humans we have a drive for stories, whether that's watching them or making them. We do. It's innate.
And I think that's a perfect note to end on. Annina, thank you so much for that. That was fantastic. If people wanted to find out more about what you're doing and the Bardic Quest, what's the best way for them to find out?
So on YouTube we are Bardic Quest. Type that in, you'll find us. Through their links, obviously you can see our entire season 1 wrapped up. We just started season 2, so our session 0 is up. You can see us. We did something different with season 2. We create the characters from scratch, so you can see us picking our classes and our attributes. We're also rolling for some, so there's a little bit of. It was a very active process, and what's coming up in the next couple of weeks is us actually doing we did a group session 0. We're doing an individual session 0s where we're actually building.
Hey Josh, sorry, we're just running a bit late on the current recording. Don't worry, we'll it's all very good. I can separate it all out.
Okay, so I'll just.
Do you mind? Just give me just 2 minutes to be perfect. Thanks, Josh. That's fine. Yeah, cool. Sorry about that. So you were saying And you've got
Yes.
personal session 0.
Yeah, personal session 0, and we are doing more role play specific questions. So more deep diving into what makes the character tick.
Perfect.
So that's what we're
Love all
doing.
that.
And I have my own YouTube channel as well, The Awkward Actress. Find me there. Those are the 2 easiest places to find me. Google my name, Instagram, TikTok. I
The
make
usual
silly
socials.
sketches. Yeah.
So, Annina, thank you so much. And so there you have it. We've had the perspective of a professional actor who's got themselves into doing actual play tabletop role-playing game, particularly through the old classic, the D&D. And hopefully you've learned a lot from that experience, and how these kind of different techniques affect storytelling in different ways, and the techniques that the professional actor is taking with the engagement and the response that comes from years of training, and how that differs from maybe us more amateur kind of performers who and I don't mean that in a bad way, but we have different strengths and different parameters in that, and hopefully you've all gained some insight from that. On that note, if you've enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, share, go check out what Annina's stuff is doing, check out Bardic Quest. But also, we'll be back and talking to more people about what makes audio storytelling work, whether it's through tabletop or whether it's through linear narrative. On that note, thank you very much for joining.